What's up, curious youngsters? If we keep wasting time on pointless things or watching tons of videos, we just get strange YouTube recommendations. Why not spend a few minutes on Mr. Curiosity and learn something? 30 totally epic facts that you'll forget in 10 minutes. But these aren't just any facts, they're going to leave you completely amazed. For this and much more, here are 30 things you didn't know 5 minutes ago. If your favorite superhero is Superman, you may not know he wasn't always able to fly, even though that's now one of his traits. And that's because, in his origins, he used to jump very high between buildings. His animators felt animating his knees constantly rubbing the ground would be hard, so they changed it. Nowadays, we have luxury kitchens everywhere, and you probably know the characteristic white chef's hat, known as the toque. Well, actually, did you know that these have 100 folds in total? And the reason is that it represents the 100 ways to cook an egg? Let's see if you knew that, my friend. When would you say the first computer in history was invented? Whatever your answer is, maybe you wouldn't imagine that it happened in 1943. Named Electronic Numerical Integrator and Computer. Electronic Numerical Integrator and Computer. It began as a military project in World War I. Some animals and insects are so unique they exist only in specific places, like the bee hummingbird. Its name is adorable, and it's so tiny it's often mistaken for an insect, since its size is about 6 centimeters as an adult, and currently it only lives in Cuba. When studying Benjamin Franklin, you likely never heard about the over 1,000 bones found in his home. The reason is less troubling than it appears, as it may have been an anatomy school run by his friend William Hazel. You may ask, how does space smell? And while this sounds a bit strange, the truth is that many astronauts agree that its smell is quite similar to that of hot metal. And a barbecue, if you're a summer lover or if you simply hate extremely cold days, well, there's a place where you'll love to live. Dalal, a city in Ethiopia, is rated as the world's hottest inhabited place. Records show its average annual temperature is 34 degrees, reaching up to 50 degrees in June. Why is it so hot? Ethiopia, why? Why? Surprisingly, many fascinating facts about England's royal family are connected to Queen Isabel I. In fact, did you know that she has knowledge of mechanics since she joined the United Kingdom's Auxiliary Territorial Service during World War I? Hi. This is also thought to be a reason for her large car collection. Can you imagine what the oldest dog breed in the world? If your answer was no, you might be surprised since it is not completely known. Its name is Aluki, and this breed reportedly dates back to 329 before Christ. Before Christ, which is exactly why it's in the Book of Records as the oldest of all. Some fruits are so rare and mysterious that most people haven't tried them, but even common ones have interesting origins. Did you know the orange is actually a hybrid fruit? Yes, oranges are a hybrid of mandarins and grapefruits and were originally green. Nowadays, high-heeled shoes are commonly associated with women's clothing. These originally belonged to men in the early 10th century and remained so for much longer, since at first men rode horses and that little extra height benefited them a lot, in addition to being a symbol of wealth. Most likely, there are hundreds and hundreds of animals whose names you've never heard of. Just like prairie dogs, these mammals are related to marmots. But the most curious thing isn't this, nor their names, but that couples literally kiss each other. How interesting, Mother Nature. If you've ever been stung by a bee, you probably remember how painful it can be. And did you know that some bees sting each other? Yes, that's because some of them guard their hives. And when they detect an intruder bee trying to steal some honey, they'll bite and even sting her. Most likely, you don't have a twin brother since the probability of having one is extremely rare. However, Benin, an African country, has the highest rate of twin births. While globally there are 13 twins per 1,000 pregnancies here, it's about 30 per 1,000. Even if you're not a big sports fan, you've probably watched the Olympic Games at some point. But did you know that they weren't always like we know them today? You see, until around the 1950s, art was considered a category here, so people could win medals in subjects like music, painting, and much more. You likely enjoy a refreshing glass of water, but you may not realize how old the water you drink actually is. In fact, it could even be much older than our entire solar system. Yes, surprisingly, Earth's water may have come from ice specks in a cosmic cloud 4.6 billion years ago. There are probably some species of frog that I don't know about, like the wood frog. This one is actually more interesting than it seems, because it has a unique trait that distinguishes it from many animals. That's because this frog can hold its urine for 8 months. Oh yeah, that's disgusting, Mrs. Frog. It's probably pretty common for you to get goosebumps when you're scared or get too excited about anything. This is called piloerection, and surprisingly, it originally. This is actually a defense mechanism of our own body to do whatever it can to scare off different predators. If you enjoy spicy food, you might be disappointed to learn we're not the only species that does. Although it may be surprising, we're among the few living beings, along with tree shrews, who enjoy this kind of food. Yeah, some small animals that live in the jungles of Southeast Asia. Some sweets, like the famous brand M&M, are completely known worldwide. They're so delicious that many people have tried them. Few people know that the 2 M's in their name stand for the last names of their creators, Mars and Murray. If you struggle to focus, try chewing gum while doing important tasks. Since World War I, this method has been used because studies show chewing gum improves concentration and performance on memory tasks. Great discoveries are made daily that significantly advance science, but maybe you hadn't imagined that even a 17-year-old could do it. This is about Wolf Courier, a high school student who identified a planet that now bears the name Transiting Exoplanet Survey Satellite, Object of Interest 1338T. He discovered it while he was doing an internship at National Aeronautics and Space Administration. Well done, Wolf. Without a doubt, one of the most important organs in our body is the brain. You've probably seen what one looks like at least once, even in a movie or picture, but the truth is, maybe you don't know how it's made up. Mainly, the brain is made up of 60% fat, which also means that losing certain fats can affect it. Though it may seem strange, there's a record of one of the world's highest temperatures. This occurred in 2010 when researchers created plasma by colliding gold ions at almost the speed of light in a particle accelerator, reaching 4 trillion degrees Celsius. It's no surprise dolphins are among the most intelligent animals for several reasons. However, a study from 2013 claimed that they even have a name for each dolphin. The truth is that, to distinguish themselves from each other, they have different types of whistles that correspond to the names they give each other. In the animal kingdom, there are many surprising curiosities, especially about lions. And actually, contrary to what people might believe, lionesses handle 90% of hunting in a pride, while male lions defend the territory. Everyone knows water is healthy, even if you don't drink enough daily. But can exceeding your water intake quickly be deadly, causing intoxication or hyponatremia? This occurs when someone drinks more water than they lose. Be careful with water, my friend. If you happen to drive a car, you're probably very cautious when it comes to controlling your speed. And maybe you've never gotten a ticket for it, since those are usually given when a driver is going at high speeds. But in case you didn't imagine it, the first person to get such a ticket was Walter Arnold in 1896, fined for driving just 13 kilometers per hour. If you've ever had the chance to travel by plane, whether it's a long or short flight, you've probably noticed that the food tastes completely different to you than it does at any other time in your life. Interestingly, you're not crazy. Flying numbs 30% of your taste buds. We all know that planet Earth in general is home to millions and millions of species, and currently there are about 8.7 million different species. Surprisingly, humans make up just 1% of the total. Thank you for the video.